everyone, it's Samantha, and today I want to show you guys how I do some meal prep. Now that I have Olivia, I don't have as much time to cook in the evening for dinner, so I do a couple of steps to make the process a whole lot easier for me, and that includes chopping up stuff. And I have been using a lot of freezer meals that I made before Olivia was born, and I've been slowly making double batches of things to put in the freezer so that I have other meals to go on days where I'm just exhausted, I don't feel like cooking. That just makes things a whole lot easier to have some freezer meals. I'm just going to show you guys what I do after we go grocery shopping as soon as I can. This is the process I go through, and I just use Olivia's nap times to my advantage. So she's taking a nap now. I'm going to do as much as I can right now, and I'll show you. And I've got some produce and some fruit that I want to go ahead and get chopped up. All I do is I chop it up, put it in containers, and that way I can grab the fruit as I want it. And then I have chopped up veggies for when I'm cooking. I can just throw everything together really easily. It really cuts down on my cooking time. And I think it actually just saves me time overall because I already have out my chopping stuff. I wash everything at one time. I chop everything at one time. And I feel like it's a little bit more productive than, you know, chopping one green pepper for a recipe as needed. I can just pull out my little container of chopped green peppers and use that in my recipe. So this container of spinach I actually bought last week. It is going to turn soon. I just didn't make the creamed spinach recipe I had planned on making. I just wasn't feeling it when it came down to making it. So I used some of this spinach on some other recipe, but the rest of it I want to save. So I went ahead and got out a gallon-sized baggie, labeled it spinach with the date, and I'm just going to put that in this baggie. Then I can use it for smoothies or other recipes, or I can make that creamed spinach. So that way I'm not wasting this, and I can use it up later on. I'm just going to use handfuls and get it in here. It's just one of those things, you know, I didn't get to using, and I'll do that with vegetables. If I have extra vegetables that I don't end up using, I always just freeze them and then I can use them later on. So now I've got a whole big bag of spinach in the freezer. I'm just going to stick that in the freezer and it'll be good. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wash all this produce real quick and then start chopping. Okay, everything is washed. I want to do a little speed up and show you guys how I chop certain things. I've done a video about knife skills before, but some of these vegetables I did not chop in that video, so I'll just do a quick speed up and show you guys how I chop these vegetables. I really quick want to touch on a couple of things before we get started. First of all, I always wash any kind of melons. Yes, you don't eat the outside, but you do cut into it. So you are cutting into the outside of the fruit. So you want to make sure you're wiping off all the stuff from the outside just in case there's any kind of dirt on there. You're not cutting into it and putting it inside the fruit where you will eat. So I just want to mention that really quick. That's one of those things that I didn't even think about early on and never used to do that. And another thing, these are Brussels sprouts if you don't know. What I like to do is I like to just give them a quick wash, and as I'm cutting them I'll peel off some of these outside leaves. If they look a little bit nasty, like this one looks a little bit wilty, I'll peel off these outside ones as I'm cutting them. Another thing is, some people that watch this channel comment like, wow, you guys eat a lot of vegetables, or, you know, how can I incorporate more vegetables into my diet? One of the great ways to incorporate vegetables is to add them into pasta sauces, add them into soups, and you can add them into recipes and you really don't taste them that much. Like, I make fajita nachos and I do have a description video of that. I'll link it down below. And I always add in zucchini because you can't taste it once you have all that taco seasoning or fajita seasoning in there. You can't taste the zucchini. You just cut it up really small and you put it in there. That's a great way to incorporate that. You can also add in shredded carrots. I do that often. And like things like Brussels sprouts, I just like to roast these with olive oil and a little bit of salt, pepper, and garlic powder. But if you don't like these, you can saute them up in a skillet with sliced up bacon, and they taste like bacon. You can really cover up some of the flavor with the bacon flavor. Then maybe over time you'll learn to like the Brussels sprouts just plain, you know, with something more healthy like olive oil. But we definitely still do the bacon thing every once in a while, especially if you're making like pasta sauce. You can blend up vegetables in your food processor or your blender, like the green peppers, the zucchini, and add that flavor into the pasta sauce, where the pasta sauce masks most of the flavor, but you're still introducing yourself to more vegetables. So I just want to throw that out there a little bit for you guys. So I'm going to do a speed up and show you guys how to chop up some of these, and the other things that I don't show in the speed up have been put in my knife skills video. So I'll link that video down below for you guys. So let's go ahead and get chopping. And here is my finished result. Of course, I gotta clean the counter. I made a huge mess with all the water, washing the cutting board and knife again and again. But I went ahead and separated out my onions. I knew I wanted onions for pasta and for stir fry this week. So I just had that huge onion. I did half of it into smaller pieces for the pasta. It's just cut up into smaller pieces. And then I kept it a little bit bigger, so I sliced it in like third slices, so the pieces will end up being like strip kind of pieces. So that's for the stir fry. I just like them a lot bigger in the stir fry. For the green peppers, I just did a little dice. I would do them in long strips if I was doing fajitas. So I did them in long strips last week. This week, I'm just using them in the pasta and the stir fry. I will also throw some of these in with that new recipe I'm doing. It's the barbacoa. It's just a beef roast in the crock pot. I'll probably put some of these in there too, just to add some more flavor. So this is gonna be for the pasta and the stir fry. So I just left them in big chunks there. And then the Serrano chili, I just diced up really small. I usually put the whole thing in the stir fry. That makes it really nice and spicy. Serrano chilies are about the same heat as jalapenos, but I found that I don't have to wear gloves chopping these, whereas if I chop up jalapenos, I do have to wear gloves or else they burn my fingers. Then I've got my fruit here, and I used to just eat them in big strips, how I first started cutting them before I diced them up. But with having Olivia, it's like I'm breastfeeding all the time, and so I'll just grab some of this, stick it in a bowl, and I can just eat it with one hand while I'm breastfeeding her. So it's just a really quick, easy way to grab fruit for me so I can stay healthy and stay eating. And then I've got 2 little boxes here of the Brussels sprouts. I'll do these as just sauteed or roasted Brussels sprouts. I could do them in a skillet or in the oven, but we'll have 2 servings of those, it looks like. That is what my prep looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it gives you some ideas. Definitely, if you're struggling with time at dinner time, this is a great way to speed things up. You know, now it takes me, 10 or 15 minutes to make a stir fry versus 30 minutes or so chopping up all the stuff. So I just have a little bit of downtime today. I can go ahead and do all my chopping for basically for the week. Most of the stuff will pretty much keep all week. My dog Emma's coughing, but I'll go ahead and use up these vegetables in the recipes that I'm making that call for these vegetables during the first part of the week, and then towards the end of the week I'll do any recipes that use more things out of the freezer or canned things like that, so that I can go ahead and use up all my fresh stuff, make sure we're eating it while it's still nice and fresh. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it gave you some ideas. Please be sure to give this video a thumb up if you like these food related videos. and I will catch you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day. Bye.